Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia. My name is Olivia, and welcome to the omb.frequency, which are my initials and the frequency of the universe. So So she's branded with a journey to to one. Um, Yeah, I am a channeler, a creative doula, an uncontrollable creator, a writer, poet, an oracle card reader, and today I'm going to be doing a reading for fixed signs. This could be rising, moon, or sun. It could be tropical or sidereal astrology, or both, whichever you are feeling. Um, and I'm doing fixed signs. I just did cardinal and mutable signs, and both of those are very interesting and lovely readings. The fixed signs, fixed signs are in the middle of the seasons. So Aquarius is the middle of winter, Leo is the middle of summer, Scorpio is the middle of fall, and Taurus is the middle of spring. And so fixed signs are fixed in the energy. They're to maintain the energy. The tree just popped out as I said that. So like steady and rooted into energy. Very like rooted into the energy, maintaining the energy, dead in the center of the energy. And that is going to they sit and stir in the energy. And that's going to be important as we go through this reading. What I got when I sat with fixed energy, I got there's a lot of subtle energy change happening. So the subtle body, because I didn't feel like a lot of like deep in the body energy. I didn't get a lot of like, it was very subtle. Um, and so a lot of subtle energies changes happening, and it can be kind of rubbing up against the nerves. There's like a lot of things, like little whispers that there's things you can't hold on to anymore because fixed energy can get so deeply rooted and like um, and fixed into an energy that it's almost seen as like sacred. I heard kill it, trying to kill the sacred. And so I took that as like with fixed energy being very like fixed and rooted and maintained and stirring and sitting in an energy and kind of stubborn in that energy, this like subtle energy change happening, and like all the changes can kind of be like trying to kill what is sacred. And I want to say that, yeah, there's a time and a place to kill the sacred. There's a time and a place for death, for change, for transformation. And I want to say something along the lines of like, if something is truly sacred, it is adaptable to the times, the people, the community, and that requires death. And so, yeah, killing the sacred, killing what is sacred, um, because in being able to kill the sacred, it is recycled into something that is also sacred. And so, in killing the sacred, uh, you find something a little more sacred, if that makes sense. So you hold something as sacred and then it dies, but it becomes transformed and like recycled and renewed into some new energy. And in that new energy, you find something that may be more sacred because it is able to transcend that death. And so it becomes more sacred. So that's what I'm feeling about when it comes to like trying to kill the sacred. I also got some very apathetic energy. Um, like a lot of fixed signs might be pretending to be very apathetic as if they don't care right now, because emotions are a mode for change. Are a vehicle for change, are an example of the way it can display the way we change. But I really like that. Yeah, kill the sacred. In killing the sacred, I'm reading The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell. And yeah, you have to kill the sacred to find something way more sacred. Find something like a deeper sacred, something that transcends. It can transcend the sacred. Um, it can transcend the death. And so, in allowing lots of deaths to happen, allowing lots of changes to happen, you find something that is more fixed than fixed could be. Like it's you know, energy doesn't die. Energy doesn't die. It transforms and it changes and it dies, and so it doesn't die. You know. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what the cards say. All right. Okay. So we have the man. And then I think this one, what is this? I think this is the clover. Yeah, we've got the clover. And we've got the mice. So we've got the man, which can be you if you identify as that. If you are identifying it in your more masculine energy, it could be your masculine energy. Or it could be a man in your life, a masculine energy in your masculine person in your life. The clover is luck. A welcome bonus if neither life-changing nor permanent. A small stroke of luck, not a huge jackpot. A lucky break, opportunity, hope. And then the mice is mice are what's it saying here? Mice damage, disruption, disorder because of interference or through neglect or lack of proper management. So this could be in instituting in using your masculine energy to now put proper attention to what has been neglected. There's some luck in that. There can be, maybe it could be a situation where you find with, maybe in regards to your masculine energy or a man, there is like, maybe there's some luck or like opportunity or hope in the small neglect, the small damages, like letting things erode slowly. And maybe that's what I was feeling with this like apathetic energy. Like it's like, maybe it's not apathy and maybe it's just like observation, observing what's eroding away and letting that happen very slowly in small increments. Like mice are very small, so it's a small problem. It's not a big problem. It's small luck. It's not big luck. And so it's just these tiny little increment changes. And that can also be tied to like the fact that we're in this Virgo energy. So these small, and this has come up in all the readings, these small increment changes that that the masculine energy can do and follow through with. that lead to like small increments of luck. And so it's not, necessarily completely like chopping the head off of the sacred, but just letting it kind of like erode, maybe like slowly poisoning it like you would with mice, and just, letting it sort of kind of just neglecting it. Neglecting it so that it slowly dies instead of just like murdering it full out, So that's what I'm getting with that. That's cool. But yeah, there's some small luck that comes with this small neglect. Yeah. Also, I mean, if it's relevant, take it the other way. Like, I don't like to say shit like that because that's not how I'm seeing it. But if there is something that yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the small erosion, small damages, the small disruptions, just allowing for that small incremental change to build up into bigger and bigger, into bigger changes. And that might be more comfortable for fixed energy. I know a lot of like fixed people who, the 8 of Wands reverse. 8 of Wands reverse. Wait, no, that's the 9 of Wands reversed. And then the 8 of Pentacles reversed. 9 of Wands reversed. So yeah, look at, this is how the energy I was getting. It's just like, okay. It's just like that face of like the apathy and the annoyance of like these small, of like killing the sacred, the annoyance of killing the sacred. And then the 8 of Pentacles at the bottom was like putting work into like these tiny little, he's doing very detailed work, but he's been doing it long enough to have the skill to like make 8 pentacles, and chisel 8 pentacles. And so it's frustrating to feel the like the tiny subtle changes and watching everything slowly like build up and shift around you. But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. What's going on? Yeah, it's just a lot of like irritation with the burnout of energy that's taken with this 9 of Wands, and the burnout of all the work the hard work and skill developed to get these 8 pentacles chiseled. And none of this is saying that you're almost done. I mean, it is because 8-9, but it's just like keep going with the small subtle changes, because this is which is what y'all are kind of good at. The slow maintenance, the slow burn, the slow erosion. Maybe the annoyance is sensing that you're almost done with this 8-9. You're almost there to a new beginning, and maybe that's what is irritating. Let's see. Oh, that's another thing that I saw in the beginning was someone slamming a car door. That's where I'm getting the annoyance, like the frustration and anger. Yeah. I'm getting irritated. Okay. So we've got the Six of Gourds, the Hermit, and the Three of Blades, all reverse. The Six of Gourds, the Six of Gourds is fusion, a lot of nostalgia. Review of the past, wanting to like commune with people. But then you got the Hermit in reverse. So yeah, I guess this feels like a lot of like loneliness. This could be because the Six of Coins is also out here. Is clarifying it with the give and take, ideas of give and take. So we got the Six of Gourds reverse, which is about like nostalgia and like communing with others. So there could be a sense of like not communing with others, but at least needing to commune with ancestors and in your spirit. Then we've got the Hermit in reverse, which is like loneliness, exile, immaturity. And then we've got the Three of Blades in reverse. And this is the heart. This is like traditionally, like you always hear it as like the heartbreak card. Um, the Three of Blades reverse is abandonment, upheaval. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, this is feeling like a lot of like this is relational. So maybe these small damages and the small erosion could be what has been done in like relationships, like maybe a small erosion, maybe this erosion, and okay, this could be erosion and small damages out of neglect of relationship. And so maybe it's like fixed signs either needing to or being in this space of like pulling back energy from different relationships and just the neglect letting the neglect happen. I'm getting the energy of like, you know, instead of like complete cutting off, it's like focusing on like how much you give and take in a relationship. And so it maybe fixed signs are in a place of just getting distance from people and letting their relationships kind of erode. And like, and maybe that small luck in the neglect of relationships and the erosion is that when you might have more time and more energy to give to yourself and your spirit and your ancestors, you're able to reflect on how much you have on the different like frustrations in relationships. And then also being able to, yeah, just tend to yourself, and also being able to focus and figure out like what relationships might be like sustainable in the midst of these like changes. And so in trying to kill the sacred, there could be a lot of like nostalgia and looking back on the past and thinking like those moments and those times are very sacred. And it's important to pay attention to like was what was seen as sacred in the past in different relationships, and what was sacred in the midst of this like erosion, and it may be dying, or maybe you pulling back, or maybe get putting more energy into yourself. Thinking about what can maintain its status of sacred moving forward, reflecting on relationships. We've got the clover again. So maybe it's not seeing this time as like, as, lucky, but like find luck and find like hope, and finding like hope in the destruction. Okay, we got clover again, which is luck. Ancestors did not build health, wealth, or safety by chance in a system that classified them as property. They built relationships with spirits who could open doors, secure resources, and halt enemies of progress. These spirits were respected guests in their homes. They learned their favorite flowers, foods, and their names. Rituals for them were done regularly, authentically, and with consistency. Your success, your survival in the face of ongoing oppression is not happenstance, it's work. In today's world, luck is evidence either of proximity to spirit through practice or proximity to colonial powers as privilege, or both. So yeah, this is finding beauty or luck in, so in pulling back from different relationships and communing more with spirit and your ancestors, maybe it will, maybe asking for um the pulling back to see like how much success you've had and how much work you've put in, or maybe needing to put more work in with your ancestors, with your spirit, and with yourself, and allowing the sort of like slow erosion of your relationships at the moment, and maybe communing with your ancestors to specifically asking ancestors, because they can kind of tap into who you need to be around. They see conversations and actions that you don't see. And so in asking, like, a lot, maybe asking for relationships that aren't good for you, relationships that may be with the enemies of progress, allowing them to kind of just erode away. And in the meantime, finding what is sacred in that process. Um, I'm getting like really tired. And then the next one is whip, which is sacrifice. Nothing worthwhile or lasting was ever achieved by simply wanting it to be yours. In the spirit world, sacrifice and work moves things a lot further than simply thinking it into your life. So, are you willing to sacrifice your time, your money, your comfort, convenience, and privilege for what you want? Or will you sit at the altar, palms open, expecting everything? This card is also the sacrifices your ancestors made for you to be here today. It's about the sacrifices your ancestors made for you to be here today. You are the manifestation of their work and sacrifice. You are the product of their magic. You honor them and the sacrifices they made by also honoring yourself. So, yeah, this is a lot like stepping back from relationships and tending to yourself, tending to your ancestors, tending to your spirit, tending to your body, tending to altars or your spiritual practices, and just allowing everything else to kind of like erode away if it needs to, if that is what is necessary. And then the card we got is Goddess Hecate and Micah, Crossroad of Destiny. 42. Crossroad of Destiny. We bring you the empowerment of the crossroad of destiny. You are at a pivotal point on your life journey. This may be obvious to you, which with a potentially life-changing decision before you, or you may not realize the impact that an apparently insignificant choice is going to have on your future. And that insignificant choice may be like the mice, like the small choice that is actually going to turn out to be very lucky. Um, Either way, you're at a point where you can leave the past behind and chart your course for a new adventurous chapter to begin in your life. This is not something you need to be frightened of. It is a sign you are progressing on your path. The crossroad of destiny happens when you have mastered a cycle in your life and a new cycle is before you. It is an opportunity that you can take best advantage of by listening to your heart. There is a certain comfort in familiarity. So yeah, this is like real. I knew that was happening because the overall energy is this like kind of chaotic change happening, and I knew the fixed sign energy would be how to cope with that change, because it's not a very, y'all aren't a very like changing, at least, unless you're like all fixed or mostly fixed, you have some other placements in your chart that might be more cardinal or mutable. So using that energy to help support the fixed signs could be important. The fixed placement. So finding out where in your chart maybe you're mutable or maybe your cardinal placements are, and using the energy of those planets and the houses to help this fixed energy move. So yeah, it's like whatever was familiar, whatever it is, like if you're sitting in nostalgia, thinking about what used to be, and thinking about all that the work you put in and all the energy you put into something, and just kind of struggling with the fact that things are changing and shifting, and the it feels like killing the sacred. um just know that, like I said, like killing the sacred opens you up to what is actually truly sacred. Keeping something alive, immortality makes things less sacred. Death, there's a reason why, um there's ideas of sacrifice, and Jesus on the cross, this idea that something becomes more sacred when it is killed or dies. It transcends its life and becomes sacred. And as you transcend these changes, you will then see what is sacred, and that will always be your relationship with yourself and your spirit, your ancestors, over anything else. And in terms of the decisions needing to be made at this crossroad, it's saying to listen to your heart and finding joy. Don't pick things out of don't make decisions out of comfort and familiarity. And it said, you can always choose to try and continue with life as it is, even though in due course it will change and take you along with it. Or you can be the spiritual adventurer along your own untraveled path, knowing that the Divine Mother watches over you and will protect you, assist, and guide you as you find your way. It is safe to trust the call to new life you feel inside. And I think this man card is making me think about I'm reading, like I said, I'm reading the Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell, and he's talking about rites of passages, and how females, people with uteruses and menstrual cycles, their rites of passage is kind of nature coming onto them and imposing them, becoming nature in a way. Like they become a force of nature because nature takes its course with their body. Whereas with males or men or people who don't menstruate, and don't have uteruses and menstrual cycles, they have to almost be inducted into the nature. And so this feels like a sort of rites of passage in a masculine male sense of or it feels like a rites of passage in the sense that you can either, it's just bound to happen. At some point, you are bound to go through a rite of passage where you become new again. And That's kind of where you are. And maybe the masculine energy is saying it might be something where you have to take it upon yourself. Like, it would just be easier to take it upon yourself to not neglect that part. Don't neglect the part of like actively taking small steps to change and grow, which will bring you luck. Um, it's like finding out, like, do you want to either step back and take care of the things that you've been neglecting in yourself, or and allowing the neglect, the erosion to kind of happen out there. And it's like, what do you truly find sacred to allow to die? You can find yourself sacred and allow that to die, or find the outside more sacred, your other people more sacred, other relationships, the past more sacred, and then you're like slowly eroding inside because you're refusing to change with the inevitable change that is a rite of passage. So yeah, that's what I have for you, mutable signs. If you'd like to book a reading with me, um, all of that information is in the description box. My rates and everything is on my Instagram, which is also in the description box. And yeah, hit me up. Thanks.